Special Commission, the National Assembly of Venezuela appointed, presented a report on compliance with the amnesty law and confirmed that it has received at least 6,487 applications to date. The report details that 3 strategic subcommittees were established to monitor the law, labor issues, and special cases in order to expedite the process. Within the framework of the Program for Peace and Democratic Coexistence, its coordinator, Ernesto Villegas, created a detailed database of cases reflecting an institutional effort to normalize the legal situation of various social and political sectors of the country. Authorities announced an immediate joint review to issue new recommendations that deepen the scope of this legislative measure.
This is a clean, transparent process. I celebrate and thank the Deputy Jorge Arias, who keeps us informed about the accepted requests for amnesty, how the cases are being attended to, and the progress being made. This is not an easy process. There are always setbacks in this type of thing. It's logical and understandable. Institutions don't expect simultaneous requests for the same issue every day, and I understand from what the Deputy Arias has told us that the President of the Supreme Court of Justice has been personally involved in resolving any confusion or issues that have arisen, and that the application of this law is becoming much more fluid every day. I celebrate this, and I believe I speak for all members of the Peace and Democratic Coexistence Commission when I say that we are happy that this is functioning as it should, and that the institutionality is working to achieve these goals.
Venezuela's acting president teleSUR Rodriguez announced a special vaccination campaign against yellow fever in 4 states. The national government activated a vaccination plan for 22 prioritized parishes in the states of Aragua, Lara, Barinas, and Portuguesa. The call is specifically aimed at people who have never been vaccinated against this disease. The acting president highlighted the strengthening of the public health system as a guarantee of a fundamental human right and mentioned the cooperation with the Pan American Health Organization for the arrival of necessary supplies and vaccines. Moreover, acting president teleSUR Rodriguez announced a plan to unify the country's free public healthcare system.
Hemos abordado el sistema de salud en Venezuela como
We have addressed the healthcare system in Venezuela as a way to guarantee a process that allows for the unification of the free public system to guarantee a fundamental human right for Venezuelans. We have also reviewed a complex set of diseases. We have also seen the support and cooperation throughout the Pan American Health Organization in vaccination processes in Venezuela, different diseases, how we can get the vaccine supplies that are needed for the health system in Venezuela to work to our country.
And in Cuba, authorities foiled an attempted terrorist incursion after seizing a boat with the United States registration plates off the coast of the country. According to the statement issued by the Ministry of the Interior, the operation resulted in the arrest of 10 armed individuals and the neutralization of a speedboat. The action took place in the Cayo Falcones area, when a unit of border guard troops intercepted the boat after coming under enemy fire. 4 deaths were reported in the operation, and the government is continuing its investigation to fully clarify the facts. Preliminary investigations indicate that all those involved are Cuban citizens residing in the United States who are linked to the promotion of terrorist acts against Cuba. In this context, these actions to attempt to destabilize the Caribbean country have been met with a firm rejection. Cuban President Miguel Díaz-Canel took his social media to stress that Cuba does not attack or threaten. We have stated this repeatedly, and we reiterate it today. Cuba will defend itself with determination and firmness against any terrorist or mercenary aggression that seeks to undermine its sovereignty and national stability. In this context also, Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez wrote on his social media accounts, Cuba has had to face numerous terrorist and aggressive filtrations from the USA since 1969, with the high cost in lives, injuries and material damage. A rigorous investigation is underway to clarify the facts. The defense of the Cuban coastline, national territory and national security is an unavoidable duty. The Communist Party of Cuba also published acts of terrorism and the promotion thereof are contrary to international law and are severely punished under Cuban law. The sovereignty of Cuba is sacred and its defense is the greatest honor. President Trump's State of the Union address was full of controversies, self-praise, and above all, division. Our correspondent in the United States, Henry Camelo, tells us more details.
Before Democratic and Republican members of Congress, President Donald Trump delivered his first State of the Union address of his second term, a speech that, in addition to addressing economy, immigration, and foreign policy issues, was remarked by racism and divisive insults, which, according to analysts, made it clear that President Trump cares least about unity for his country.
Trump did exactly what we knew that he would do. He lied, as he always does. We live in an epic of post-truth and in post-reality, and that's the ruling class that he represents and that he spoke for last night. No surprises whatsoever.
On economy matters, President Trump assured that the United States is on the right track.
But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%.
However, data from Federal Reserve shows that currently inflation stands at 2.7%, something that is hardly cause for celebration among Americans.
Do you think, from your own experience going to the supermarket or shopping, that prices are going down?
I think anybody who's buying anything right now knows that prices aren't going down. No matter how many times Trump says that they are, it doesn't make it real. Nobody's feeling like things are doing better right now.
And the immigration issue heated up the atmosphere in Congress.
You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
I think that he's putting all immigrants in one box, and all immigrants are not the same person, just like everybody that lives and comes from here isn't the same person. I think that he is not treating immigrants well.
And he threatened to attack Iran if it didn't abandon its nuclear program.
My preference is to solve this problem through diplomacy. But one thing is certain, I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen.
For analyst Danny Shaw, Trump's speech was more of the same.
We heard the arrogance and we heard the lies of another wannabe world's emperor. And who would have thought? Who would have thought in the form of this arrogant billionaire whose wealth continues to rise? He talked about his own economic interests in hotels and websites. It was beyond nauseating, and to see all of these Republicans enabling him, because we live in a society where it's save yourself.
A cruel reality for the most vulnerable ones, the immigrants. Pablo Daniel Joe and Henry Camelo, teleSUR, New York.
Special Commission, the National Assembly of Venezuela appointed, presented a report on compliance with the amnesty law and confirmed that it has received at least 6,487 applications to date. The report details that 3 strategic subcommittees were established to monitor the law, labor issues, and special cases in order to expedite the process. Within the framework of the Program for Peace and Democratic Coexistence, its coordinator, Ernesto Villegas, created